A well-respected NFL analyst just made an outrageous claim about your 49ers. Not only is he dead wrong, he's missing on at least 4 different points, of which I'm going to tell you about in this video. If you're new here, I'm Nate, and I follow the San Francisco 49ers 365 days a year, and we are keeping receipts on this one because he is about to be found out. Hit subscribe if this is what you're looking for on YouTube, but the claim is this. Colin Coward. Oh, Colin Coward on his show. He is sleeping on the 49ers massively. Listen to what he just said about your San Francisco 49ers and the NFC West.
Yeah, you can see it. I think the Rams are going to win it. I think Seattle's defense, I thought Seattle had the best draft in the NFL. I thought Arizona and Cleveland had the second best drafts. Arizona's defense is going to be a handful. Their offense is fine also. Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray now go to a second year together.
So let me pause there, and I'm going to let him get to the Niners in a second here. So he's got Rams, then Seahawks, then Cardinals, then 49ers. Here's what he had to say about the 49ers.
That matters. I don't like what I see with the Niners. I did not like their draft at all. I think when you look at the Niners draft, I see Kyle Shanahan taking some reaches here to help him and not the future. He wants to win now. I didn't like the Niners draft at all. I'm not saying they're a 5-win team, but I think Arizona can win 10 to 11 games.
Okay. My goodness. We've got to go back a little bit here, and we need to break this down piece by piece. And then I've got 4 reasons why he's dead wrong throughout this video. So stick around for all of that. But let's just start with the first thing he says. I don't like what the Niners have done. What about what the Niners have done has really been not to like, okay? The only thing I could say not to like would be letting guys go. Guys like Deebo Samuel on their way out. Hufanga on their way out. Dre Greenlaw on their way out. I understand that side of the argument, although I actually think the Deebo Samuel move does make sense in the long term. I think Hufanga does make sense in the long term. We knew that was coming a long time ago. And you got the young up-and-coming talent that's ready to take his place anyways, so whatever, okay? Those are whatever, neither here nor there. The Dre Greenlaw one, I do understand because he was a big one, but we've talked about this before, guys. He didn't want to be here. So you can't blame the 49ers on that. There's nothing they could have done. They tried to keep him. They couldn't keep him. But then he goes on to say that he didn't like the 49ers draft. We're going to get to that because that's one of the 4 points that we're going to talk about in a minute here. We're going to get to the draft. But the way he described the draft, saying that it was Kyle Shanahan reaching. Hold on. Tell me what part of this draft felt like a typical Kyle Shanahan draft. This did not feel at all like a typical Kyle Shanahan draft. The first 5 picks were defensive players. Don't give me that. I'm not having that. That is, not only is that ignorant, it shows me that you haven't done the research. You haven't even taken the time to develop the deep position you have in this argument. This is a ridiculous statement, in my opinion. You can disagree with me in the comments, and Colin Coward, please feel free. Hop in there. You want to at me or something like that. I would love to have a conversation with you. Let's set it up because I think you're crazy, man. I think you're genuinely crazy. This is a nuts take to bring this all back to Kyle Shanahan, and this is Shanahan's fingerprints on a draft, on a reaching draft of all these defensive players. If anything, it's Robert Saleh's draft if you're going to make that argument at the very least. Now, when you get to later in the draft, and you know what? Even the reaching part, I would at least accept that a little bit if you just said the 49ers are reaching on players. Okay, I see the mathematical reasoning for why you would say that. But anyway, my point is I think Colin Coward's off base, and we have to get to those 4 reasons why I think Colin Coward is off base in this video. So let's hop into number 1. Clearly, Colin Coward is underrating this draft, in my opinion. There's no argument there that you know what I think about this draft. You know how good I feel about this draft, and I'm going to give you a few more reasons why that just came out today in this video. But clearly, Colin Coward and I do not see eye to eye when it comes to this draft. I think he's massively underrating this draft, along with the likes of guys like companies like PFF, only because they have specific metrics that they're looking for in order to call it successful. I think the 49ers said, those are metrics that you guys can use over there. That's fine. What we're doing is trying to fill our team up with great talent at positions of need, and they did that. I think that's what they did. Obviously, it's a luxury, when teams don't have to draft for need. The 49ers had to draft for need this year, and that's just the way that it went. But we just talked yesterday about what Albert Breer was saying. Teams are going to rue the decision that they made, letting Mykel Williams fall to 11. Many, okay, this just updated today. Many like Brian Baldinger, but now ESPN's Lindsey Theory, Pamela Maldonado, Stephanie Abell, as well as Ben Solak, we talked about a few days ago, have all now come out saying that they believe that Mykel Williams is going to be the best candidate or is the best candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. This is a lot of ESPN analysts and NFL Network. Like, we're talking about some top dudes out there saying this. And Cowherd thinks he doesn't like the draft at all. And Kyle Shanahan's got his hands all over this massively defensive draft. Okay, Colin Cowherd. I don't at all see what you're talking about. What did Breer say about Alfred Collins? A monster. The exact words that I used when we drafted him. A monster of a defensive tackle. CJ West has been picked by many to be the 2025 draft steal. I see nothing but good things about Jordan James. Nothing but good things about Jordan Watkins. Incredible things about the athleticism of guys like Connor Colby, Marquise Siegel, Upton Stout, these guys who are showing off on those metrics. Of course, many who believe injury woes behind him. Nick Martin is going to be the fill-in for Dre Greenlaw, the future Dre Greenlaw. That's what a lot of people believe. So there's a lot of hype around this draft, and I'm not getting where you're coming from, Mr. Cowherd. I think you're wildly off base. But let's also talk about the current roster, because you know what? We talked about the draft, right? And the draft is unproven. I get that. The 49ers have to go and do something with the draft. But have we forgotten about the current roster? Christian McCaffrey, going into last season, pre-injury, was ranked number 3 out of the top 100 players in the National Football League heading into last year's season. He is back now. He's had ample time in his body to rest. He even got a ramp up last season, so he's not going to be quite as rusty. I think that this is a perfect setup for Christian McCaffrey. I've told you that before, so I won't belabor the point. Fred Warner, number 11 going into last season out of the top 100 players. George Kittle, number 14. Nick Bosa, number 27. Brock Purdy, number 28. Brandon Aiyuk, number 66. Okay? These are players that going into last season, okay, you put injuries aside, you put situation aside for a second, you put coaching aside for a second, and you say these are players that were ranked at the beginning of last season in the top 100. That's not mentioning, of course, those that have since left, like Dre Greenlaw and Deebo Samuel. So the 49ers still have a very, very solid roster, okay? Is it perfect? Of course not. Is it a Super Bowl roster? Not yet, at least. It's definitely not a Super Bowl roster. It's got some work to do to get to that kind of, to be in that kind of conversation. But how dare you say that if all these guys are back and healthy, and Trent Williams is back and healthy, and all these dudes are back and healthy, and Dominic Pooney clearly an upgrade at the right guard position. We've got a veteran tackle, not Hennessy, what's his name? Just came in for Jalen Moore. Like, the 49ers are making moves. They're still doing things, all right? I'm not saying that the 49ers are perfect, okay? But they've clearly made improvements on the roster through the draft, and the current players that are still left on the roster, the George Kittles of the world, the Brock Purdys of the world, are still great players, you guys. Like, they're still able to operate in this scheme and operate in this system to be effective. So I'm like, come on, dude. You serious? You serious right now? He's serious. He's definitely serious. Or maybe he's just trying to have a hot take and get a lot of attention. I don't know. If that's the case, then I guess it works, because we're also talking about this right here. The 49ers completely upgraded their coaching staff. They upgraded their defensive coordinator, okay? They upgraded their special teams coordinator, Brant Boyer, and Gus Bradley came into work on defense as well. So the 49ers have made moves, several moves on the coaching staff. I think this one right here, Robert Saleh, the most valuable move of the offseason, okay? Gets no mention, no credit whatsoever from Colin Cowherd on this one. I don't even understand how you could possibly think the 49ers are bottom of the league when they've made the moves they've made and they've upgraded in the way that they've upgraded. Again, do I believe they're the best team in the NFC? No. But are they a significantly better team, and are they at least competing? Yeah, absolutely. By the way, not on my list, but let's also talk about what Vegas thinks, that the 49ers are going to win the NFC West. That's what Vegas thinks over the Rams, who presumably have seemed to me, at least, to have improved from last season. And this is a team that won the division. So, do I think that they're a lock-in to win the NFC West? Not at all. I think the 49ers are going to put up a good fight. I think the 49ers have a good shot to fight for the NFC West. But do I, am I down on the 49ers' chances of potentially even winning NFC West? No, I'm not at all. I'm feeling very up on the possibilities for the 49ers. And Vegas believes that too. So it's not just me, right? It's not just a homer, okay? But then you've got this, of course, too. Let's not forget the strength of schedule. This is another thing that goes completely unnoticed when we're talking about what the 49ers have in front of them versus some of these other teams. Look at the strength of schedule for the San Francisco 49ers, which, of course, will next week look a little bit different. We're going to learn more, okay? The strength of schedule will be the same, but when you start to look at rest differential and some of those things, we'll start to be able to analyze that even further and see how the 49ers shake up in the upcoming schedule release on Wednesday next week, a week from today. But just right now, from what we know right now, how could you possibly look at this team who has an incredible opportunity in terms of schedule, who has a great – speaking of roster, by the way, we didn't even talk about Ricky Pearsall. What's that dude? I'm going to pull it up real quick. Hold on one second. From ESPN, Mike Clay did a projection. I'll have to do this in another video sometime, but he did a projection on what he thinks is going to happen for the 49ers. He projected Ricky Pearsall. Let me look at this. So he projected Ricky Pearsall to be healthy for 15 games. He projected him to have 96 targets, 64 receptions for 892 yards, so almost a 1,000-yard season with 4 touchdowns. Okay? He projects that Christian McCaffrey this season, we got to do a whole nother video on this. He projects Christian McCaffrey is going to have 217 attempts for over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's going to be targeted in the passing game 76 times for 515 yards and 3 TDs through the air. So this is Mike Clay out of ESPN putting his projections out there, what he thinks the 49ers are going to do. And if the 49ers have Ricky Pearsall basically, catching close to putting up numbers close to what Juwan Jennings did last season, okay? Different type of wide receiver, I get it, okay? But if that happens, and then you have Christian McCaffrey out there having, 70 or 60 to 70 receptions, plus also putting down 1,000 yards in the ground game, are you kidding me? You really believe this is a team that can't possibly be better than the Arizona Cardinals? I'm not having it. And I'm also not high on Sam Darnold. I think that we saw the best out of Sam Darnold, and I do not think, no offense to Kubiak, I don't think they're going to get the best out of Sam Darnold with their offensive line in Seattle. So, look, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments as always. I get it. I welcome it, and I'm more than, this is part of the fun of sports talk. You can disagree, and that's cool. But I think this is absolutely insane to me. And I think that this take is outrageous, and I think that Colin Coward is just showing his true colors yet again and is wildly off base or just trying to be clickbaity. I don't know, one or the other. Appreciate you guys and hope you guys have a fantastic day.